What's up? Hit that like button, subscribe on your way in. Appreciate you coming to the channel. Here on Focus Daily TV, we speak about biblical prophecy and how it applies right here in America. We speak about the true, real Holocaust that occurred right here in America. The Holocaust against those known as African Americans, who are truly, indeed, the biblical children of God, which are spoken about in the Bible. Today we're going to talk about the Lieber Code. During the late 1800s, the banking institutes were attempting to overthrow that current federal government. Through this Lieber Code, they was able to introduce a status of martial law. But the thing was, this status was perpetually enforced all the way up until current days. Why? In order for the banking institutes to continue to run their fiat scam, their demonic ideologies, and to subvert us into a form of nothing or nothingness or blackness or black, which is nothing in law. We're going to do a little reading today. Put your discernment caps on. Let's go. Going to break down this general order according to the general order, but presented by Yale Law School, Lillian Goldman Law Library. General Order number 100, the Lieber Code. What we're doing is explaining how it was or how it is that we find ourselves in the situation we find ourselves in today, completely under democratic rule, even though originally we were the landowners, we were the land bearers of this nation that is commonly known as the United States of America. When I say this nation, I mean as far as the land and the people, not the corporate designation. It's the corporate designation that takes advantage of this General Law 100, the Lieber Code. Initially, this code was presented by Abraham Lincoln as a form to get everybody to get along, basically, to come together so some form of prosperity could be obtained between the original landowners, the free men, or the organic people of this land, and the foreign invaders that were given a charter to do business. But once this Lieber Code was instituted, Abraham Lincoln was assassinated. And upon his assassination, they began to perpetually enforce these laws up until today. In 2024, we still live under the Lieber Code. Here we go. Instructions for the government of armies of the United States in the field. We are under a military occupation. And the way they continue this military occupation is by keeping us in a constant state of fear, whether it be drones, the big COVID virus thing, war, terrorists. All of this is orchestrated in order to keep us in a state of martial law or military jurisdiction. But we're here to break free from that jurisdiction and return back to the jurisdiction of the Lord. Prepared by, that's right, the Lord, the God of the Bible, the Father, the Son, the Holy Ghost, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. That's what we represent here on Focus Daily TV. It's just not no normal history show. What we're doing is presenting this truth, because it is this truth that shall make us free. Before the Lord come down and begin to get busy, he wants everybody to break free from the ideological subversion and see the truth of things so you can make an educated choice on whether you're going to follow the Lord or fall like these conspirators. Prepared by Francis Lieber. Promulgated You can see that as General Order Number 100 by Abraham Lincoln, April 24th, 1863. Instructions for the government armies of the United States in the field, prepared by Francis Lieber, originally issued as General Order 100, Adjutant General Office, 1863. The 10 square miles of Washington, D.C., 1898. Government Printing Office. We just going to scan through this. Don't worry, we're not going to read the whole thing. But let's check out this table of contents. Section number 1, martial law, military jurisdiction, military necessity, retaliation, where we currently find ourselves now in a state of martial law. That's why they're able to perpetrate the crimes that they continue to perpetrate against us, because we're no longer under the original charter, which God allowed the foreigners to work under. We're under the Lieber laws. Public and private property of the enemy. Protection of persons meaning businesses, and especially of women, of religion, the arts and sciences. Punishment of crimes against the inhabitants of hostile countries. Deserters, prisoners of war, hostages, booty on the battlefield. Treasures, stuff they took, the gold and silver. Partisans, armed enemies not belonging to the hostile army. Scout, armed prowlers, war rebels. Okay, that's it for that. We're not going to go all the way down there. We're just going to get straight into it. Section 1, military law, military jurisdiction, military necessity, retaliation. Article 1, a place, a district, or country occupied by an enemy stands in consequence of the occupation. At this point, they considered us, the original people of this land, an enemy to the new corporate state of America that they were beginning to institute in consequences of occupation. Under martial law of invading and occupying armies, whether any proclamation declaring martial law or any public warning to the inhabitants has been issued or not, martial law is an immediate and direct effect and consequences of occupation and conquest. They were the occupiers who were attempting to conquest the original people of this land. And once again, like it said, whether any proclamation or whatever was given to the people at all, whether you know it or not, we are in a state of military occupation, military jurisdiction, military law, rather than the laws of God, which we should be applying to, which we shall return to. When I say we, I mean us as a people. I done been broke free. That's why I'm able to present this information. The presence of a hostile army proclaims its martial law. Article 2, martial law does not cease during the hostile occupation. It don't cease, except by special proclamation ordered by the commander-in-chief, president, or by special mention in a treaty of peace concluding the war. That treaty of peace, that's a tricky one. The information is out there. Here on Focus Daily TV, you must study to show yourself approved. But that treaty of peace, a lot of these celebrities are under that treaty of peace. A lot of your favorite entertainers and athletes and rappers operate under that treaty of peace, because their job is to keep you blinded and from waking up and realizing who we are as blacks or African American as a people. Concluding the war. When the occupation of a place or territory continues beyond the conclusion of peace as one of the conditions of the same. They speak it in high-tech legalese, but we're going to break it down. Hopefully, you got your discernment cap on. Hit that like button, subscribe, support the channel, hashtag Focus Daily TV. Article 3. Martial law in a hostile country consists in the suspension by the occupying military authority. So even though it might not seem that we're in a state of war at the present time, it still consists by occupying military authority of the criminal and civil law and of domestic administration and the government in the occupied place. So that means the crafty council took over the domestic administration, the government took over all things, your senators, your presidents, yeah, even him, the one y'all just voted in, is a part of this military operation. And in the substitution of the military rule and force for the same, as well as in the dictation of general laws as far as military necessities require. So here we go. We get into Jekyll Island when they bring in this new form of fiat currency, which is really the selling of men's soul on the market and creating bond men and bond women, as the Bible speaks of. All right. The commander of the forces may proclaim that the administration of all civil and penal law shall continue either wholly or in part. So when we're in a state of military occupation or military jurisdiction, they can do basically whatever they want to do. That's what they're stating, including but not limited to bringing in that fiat rather than the gold and silver. They kept the gold and silver for themselves and brought in its fiat form, which is basically backed by the souls of men, not the gold and silver as God intended us. Even in times of peace, unless otherwise ordered by military authority. So you see, they brought this in. They assassinated Abraham Lincoln before he can discontinue it, and they continue to keep us in a perpetual state of military occupation, even in times of peace, unless otherwise ordered by that same military authority. Article 4. Let's break this one down and I'm going to let y'all get out of here. Martial law is simply military authority exercised in accordance with the laws and usage of war. Military oppression is not martial law. It is the abuse of the power which that law confers. However, they continue to abuse it. See, by law, we got them. You can't continue to do these things you're doing, but here we find ourselves in the situation we find ourselves in today, under a perpetual state of martial law. As martial law is executed by military force, it is incumbent upon those who administer it to be strictly guided by the principles of justice, honor, and humanity, virtues adorning a soldier even more than other men, for the very reason that he possesses the power of his arms against the unarmed. Well, that's all we're going to go into today. Keep it short and sweet and to the point over here, because I know attention spans be everywhere. But hit that like button, subscribe, support the channel, hashtag Focus Daily TV. And if you're having a problem keeping up with the information that I'm presenting, go back to the previous videos. I got a timeline that I'm working on, and everything is going in a specific order. So you might have to go back and check out previous shows in order to get a better understanding of this. But until next time, I'm out.